Anyway, that's all for me.
You
Thanks.
want to come sit here? Do you mind? Yes. Thank you. Why y'all? Are y'all ready? Everybody staring at me. Amazing. So TJ had a birthday yesterday. Was it yesterday?
No, well, the party was Friday.
The party was Friday. Did you get drunk?
I did not.
Oh man, boring. No, I'm playing. You got high? Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You smoked joint?
No.
What'd you get high off?
No. Pot.
What?
Pot.
You got high off pot? What? Is that true? What are we waiting for?
Get Bill. We're waiting.
Get Bill. Where's Bill?
Inside the studio.
What?
Why?
What?
Why do you need Bill? I heard get Bill on my. He wants to start. Yeah, we're about to.
So, Samuel, did TJ really get high at this party? It's your deal. What? Good morning. Welcome to church. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You can get involved by going to our chat line and on the YouTube channel, and James will give me your questions and comments. Happy Father's Day, everybody, again.
Happy Father's Day.
All right. Any fathers here? Well, I know your father, Mark. And your father. Well, happy Father's Day. Only two fathers? Oh, 3, 4, 5. Oh, all right, good. Good, okay. Happy Father's Day. Any first timers? Anybody here for the first time? Oh, okay. Any questions about anything? It's a fellowship. Any questions or comments? Oh, I just thought of something. I'm glad you raised your hand. Okay, go ahead.
You know how we're not supposed to hold on to anything.
Right.
So, I mean, is that literally we don't hold on to anything? Because it feels like if we don't hold on to things, we'll forget about people.
You forget about people?
Yeah.
And what's wrong with that?
No, I don't know. Is that normal?
To forget about people?
Yeah, because I mean,
what do
if
you
we don't
mean you
hold on to
forget about
anything,
them?
You don't even hold on to like relatives or friends or experiences. So I'm asking, is that the natural way to be, is to just completely empty of everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you hold on to friends and family members and all that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, like memories and things like that. You know, if
What?
I haven't talked to a family member in a while or whatever, you know, sometimes I try to make it a point to call them, but I think if you just...
So when you say hold on to them, what do you mean by that?
Well, I don't maybe hold on to that relationship in a way, kind of.
So you walk around all day holding on to it?
No, I'm not saying that. You know I don't mean that.
I'm sorry.
No, the only my question is, are we just supposed to be empty of everything?
Yes.
Okay.
What is the purpose of holding on to them?
You feel empty without it.
You feel what?
Empty.
Nice. And you don't like the empty feeling?
I'm not even saying that. I just wondered. It's kind of new, so it feels like it's. I don't know. Just trying to. Is that the natural state to be in?
Yes. I don't know. How would you hold on to it about thinking about them all day?
Well, the thought. No, I mean you have thoughts or whatever, or like you know, how your mind will make you think about certain experiences or what happened that day. Or let's say Friday, I went and had dinner with a family member on Friday, right? And it was nice, everything went good. Afterwards, the mind will kind of want to replay what happened or the conversation and all that.
Yeah.
And so that seems like it's natural, but you can see it's not really natural.
Somebody making a noise either with their feet there. Are you making a noise with your feet? You nervous? He's like, no, but I see his feet doing it. Your foot.
So in other words,
Anybody else know what does what Irma does? Hold on to family and friends and stuff?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah, somewhat, yes. I
How do you hold on to them?
do. I just like every once in a while.
Oh, hold on.
I'm sorry. Just not like obsessively or possessively. Just like give them like a text message. Just ask how they were doing, if they're okay.
But how do you hold on to them now?
That's just how I hold on to them. I mean, I'm not like I'm technically not empty. I do think about them from time to time because I grew up with them and they were the closest things to my life growing
Right.
up. So it's just pretty much like a reliving almost a memory, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how I hold on to them. So.
And how do you hold on to them?
So, I mean, I don't necessarily, I feel like you're kind of twisting it a little bit. So what I mean by is mostly the experience. In other words, like you have an experience, whatever, you go to an event, your mind will kind of replay what happened there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but really, I could just go home and not think about it
close,
again.
Not so close to your mouth.
Right. So I could leave and just
Bring the
not,
mic away from your mouth a little bit. Yeah. Thank you.
I could leave and not think about it again.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it crosses your mind and then you just let it go. You replay what happened at the party?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the dinner or whatever.
Right. I'm just asking, is that normal to just, like, you can not even think about it again and it's just over with?
No, it'll cross your mind, but you don't hold on to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I just found out TJ smoked pot, right?
Right.
And so it crossed my mind again right now. But I'm not holding on. TJ doesn't look like a pothead, huh? Everybody look at TJ. He looks so holy. Look how he holding hand like a Christian. Yesterday I was at the gym and I was putting the weights back, and some guy said, "Christian, put the weights back." Right, that's right. But no, I wouldn't hold on to it. You know, you got to think about the party, but don't hold on to it. I don't hold on to my family and friends. It wouldn't make sense, to be honest with you.
And they just cross your mind and then you...
Yeah, they'll cross the mind sometime, but I'll let that go real fast. But yeah, but I wouldn't hold on to anything. You know, since you had the mic, last week you asked me something about you control your thoughts or something like that. Remember you brought up that question?
Kind of vaguely, but I don't remember what it was specifically.
Do anybody remember that? What did he ask?
He asked if you're in charge or do you control? He asked if you were in charge or do you control your thoughts? And I answered him.
Do you remember asking
Kind of,
that?
yeah. I think the question I had was, I think you say we can't...
We don't
can't
create
control
thought.
our thoughts, right?
I'm sorry?
I think you say we can't control our thoughts or we don't create our thoughts.
Oh boy, you're gonna get beat up. Where Chris? Chris, you beat up kids too?
Gotta relegate that to the father.
I know the father just shaking their head. I knew I should have left him at home. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, it's too vague. I don't really remember exactly what it was, but something having to do with the
I
thoughts.
thought about that during the week that you had mentioned that, and something like, do you create thoughts or
Yeah, something along that line.
you don't remember exactly
Well, I
what you
think,
asked?
you know what it was? Okay, it was about, I think, memories. So, like, when you have thoughts that come up in memories, you can choose to hang on to those or it appears that way, that we can hold on to them or let them go, right? So I could have a memory or a thought about something, and it seems like I have a choice whether I want to entertain that thought or look at it and let it go. And I think the question was, if I don't know if I had a specific question, but it was in regards to that.
Yeah, I forgot what it was because I thought about that question.
But it was about the
And
thought
But I thought you asked that we create thoughts.
It
or
might have been
like
something along that line.
that. Yeah. I'm sorry?
It may have been along that line.
Do you think that we create thoughts?
No. But
Do you
I,
think we choose what we want to think about?
I think that we can, it seems like we can choose to hold on to a thought. Like if a thought comes or a memory, you can choose whether you want to get into it or not get into it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like how the question was, so forget it. Let me clearly say, you guys heard about the third eye situation? How many people think you have a third eye? Only one person admitted it now? 2. You thinking about admitting it? He like, do you think you have a third eye?
I know of it. I mean, I know where
You do have, Chris, you want to unfold your arm and come with the mic?
I know of it as a pineal gland, right? It gets crystallized with the sodium fluoride or whatnot. So it's like they say it's a part of us that it gives us faith and hope. You know.
Who said that?
Man,
Who?
I got into this. So in the 1940s, in the concentration camps, they're pouring it into the water, making the Jews docile, while they put them into the.
They made the Jews docile?
Yeah, they put it in. They studied that it affects it actually drops your IQ a little bit, and it affects the pineal gland. So there's pictures of your pineal gland half crystallized from it, like the same crystallization happens under your pipes in your sink. That's why we're not supposed to drink the tap water, because they pour it into the tap
Too
water.
late for James, huh?
Yeah. So anyways,
You've been
it's
drinking it for
you're
years.
supposed to exercise your third eye and
But-
spiritually, you know.
Really? So the third eye is a pineal gland?
It's your pineal gland.
What would they call a gland an eye?
It's just in scriptures, or like there's even.
Is it in the scriptures?
I'm sorry, not scriptures. In
Oh.
history, I think in Egyptian pyramid drawings and stuff. You know,
And so you have a third eye?
that's what they say.
How about you?
No, I don't think so anymore.
Any more?
Yeah, yeah.
You thought
More
at
like
one
a-
time you had one?
I mean, because it's not like a third eye, right? It's more of a part of your mind that picks up energy, you know. Or this is before. I was an atheist up until 4 years ago, so this was like. I was
And
more
so you went from
spiritual.
being an atheist to having a third eye?
No, I had a third eye.
Oh, when you were an atheist, you had a third eye?
Yes. Yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah, right.
And what happened? So what happened to your third eye? You don't have it anymore?
No, I never went back into it. But yeah, when I did try to understand your silent prayer, I also thought, you know, that's what you were pointing at when you said aim to the set. I'm like, this guy knows about the third eye. Yeah, all right, yeah, I'm on the right path, you know.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
We talked about that in the women's forum because they heard the call from the lady, and I was surprised at the number of ladies who thought I meant a third eye. And when I say be aware of the center of your forehead, they thought that I meant like right there.
That's where it's at, right
I
there.
meant like just in the head, in the forefront of your head. I don't mean like just right there. That doesn't even compute to me. And then nowhere have I ever said anything about a third eye. And so it's like they hear me saying a third eye when I'm not even saying anything about a third eye. They hear me saying that. You thought I meant that too, right?
Yeah.
Even though I didn't say it.
Even though you didn't say it, yeah. You didn't specify that at all, but I jumped on it real quick. You know.
And you start looking at the third eye.
I started looking at my third eye as I did the silent prayer.
That
Just
sounds
looking,
scary, like
cross
a
your eyes and
monster.
go up. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And
I'm learning you.
No, there is no third eye
Yeah.
that I'm aware
But
of.
in science, or
There may be a pineal gland, but it's not an eye.
Yeah.
God is a spirit.
Yeah.
So like, he's not an eye. He's light that you see by. You know, like the sunlight out there?
Mm-hmm.
And is the sunlight an eye?
No.
It's the same thing. It's just that it's inside and he's a spirit. And so when you're aware of the darkness, it's because the light is shining on it. I suggest that you not be in your head at all. So I definitely wouldn't suggest you be up there with a third eye.
All right. Just, yeah, there's just so much science attacking the third eye or attacking our pineal gland.
Science?
Yeah, like literally on purpose. So that's why I got real deep into that subject, and it went spiritual.
Did it help you to have a third eye?
No, because I didn't understand it that well. I just
Right.
knew of that they call the pineal gland the third eye.
It's amazing that, so you walked around with 3 eyes at one time?
Not physically.
Did your son know
it's
you had a
spiritual.
third eye up there?
Yeah, he looked at me weird for
I
a
bet.
while. Yeah.
Well, God is the light.
Yes.
He's love. He's not like, and your whole body is filled with love. And the kingdom of heaven is within the soul of the belly, and Satan is in the mind.
I agree with you.
So if you got
Wow.
that third eye up there, you're looking at Satan. I know nothing about a third eye. I don't, and I used to think that people hear what they want to hear, but now I think that people are influenced by what they hear. Like if someone says something that's similar to what they've already learned, Satan's telling them that's what they mean.
Yeah.
And so it's based on what you've already learned. But there is no third eye that I'm aware of. And I don't mean that at all. And I don't mean look right here.
Yeah.
I just mean be aware of this area where thoughts come, which is in the form of the head. Not the third eye, folks. No wonder the Christians think I'm one of those, what do they call me? New Age, yeah, a New Age. No third eye. Y'all hear that? Jesse said third eye. No third. I know nothing about a third eye. As a matter of fact, if I met someone that was into that, I would run. I'm glad you're over it. So y'all understand about the third eye? No third eye. All right. You sure? All right. So if someone say I mean third eye, no third eye. Did I see your hand? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think he's talking more about what you're talking about is the gain of knowledge. Because I used to train dogs, and
You used to have a third eye as well?
no.
Oh,
No, it's not that interpreted.
Oh, okay.
I don't interpret it like that. It's I used to train dogs, and I used to sit with somebody who didn't. And for example, like I'd see somebody walking their dogs, and like, oh, like look, that dog walks well. And in my head, I'm like, no, that lady's destroying that dog. And I know that lady's doing something wrong. That's
Right.
eventually going to turn something worse. And the person who doesn't know is complimenting the person who's walking the dog. And that's like what I interpret the third eye, I guess, under quotations, heavy quotations.
I don't know how anyone can believe someone when they say you have a third eye.
No,
How do you believe that?
Yeah, it's more of
If
like
someone
just
told me I had a third, I have a good, now that I think about it, a really good friend. He is a Buddhist kind of guy, I think. And I think he told me he had a third eye. But I didn't think much about it since he was a Buddhist.
yeah.
Yeah,
Theirs is more like an interpretation of knowledge or gaining knowledge, and then you like open up your third eye or whatever. But it's just, you see things because you know things, and that somebody else who doesn't know that thing doesn't see it, and that's kind of what the third eye means. It's not a physical eye.
Why would a Christian fall for the idea of a third eye? It's not in the scriptures anywhere.
No.
What?
It's just like what I've noticed.
Oh, I see.
It's
Oh, okay.
not. I didn't quote anybody or anything. It's just what I've seen.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it's just
Alright.
like the more details you learn about something, the more deeper you can look into it. And somebody who hasn't done that won't or can't see what you see, and that's the quote third eye. If that makes sense.
That's amazing. The third eye doesn't make sense.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
The world is busy. Yes, ma'am. Let me take here first and then.
As this gentleman was saying about the pineal gland, it's been studied quite like a lot. It's been extensive, right? And so one of the reasons why they would also call it a third eye and why they want to like is because there's photoreceptors, like so that it can like sense light or something. And so that's also why they would call it a third eye, like because it's around the eyes and it has the same kind of like body technology that our physical eyes do, right? And yeah, so that's also why they wanted to calcify it because, like he said, it would drop your IQ and fluoride will calcify or crystallize it and whatnot.
So did
But,
you
yeah.
have a third eye at one time?
I guess I was all kinds of crazy, so yeah. But like,
Do
it's
you
just
still
it's a
have it?
pineal gland.
You
Yeah.
still have the third eye?
I have a pineal gland. I have glands.
It made the body work.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's not like I can like close both of these two eyes and then I can like see a whole
Yeah,
a whole different world.
that's a good point. If you wanted to take a nap while you're driving, can you close two eyes and leave the third one open?
Right.
That's a good point.
Right. Yeah. So I just wanted to add on to what this gentleman was saying.
Oh, okay. Let me take here first. Yes, sir. And then I'll come to you.
I've never been into any of that stuff.
You heard about it before?
I've heard of it. I've, reasoned with it, and
You did what now?
thought about it.
Oh,
I mean, example, you look on the back of the dollar bill, there's an eye on there inside of a pyramid, and that's supposed to represent all seeing, all knowing. And a lot of the founders in our country, they were Masons, and they belonged to groups who had they believed in mythicism,
oh, okay.
and they, it's kind of like a
No wonder the
way
world's so
of
messed
seeing.
up. We need the Christians back.
Some of them were Christians, but they were all seeing, all knowing. That eye is all seeing and all knowing.
We're just on the dollar, so it's not real.
Well,
They're going
they
to put
see
that
you.
on the Bitcoin now.
It is.
The millennials are going to take it off the dollar. Yes, sir. Right here.
The guy on his phone?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah, because I wanted to.
You wanted to read something.
I wanted to bring something up here. So when it comes, this guy's going. Yeah. All right. So there's a picture, right? It's called the creation of Adam, right? And then people have referenced the pineal gland. I think that's what it's called. Pineal gland. So there's this picture right here. It's of God. It's the creation of Adam, and it's made by Michelangelo. And it's supposed to be Adam with his finger pointing like this, and then God is pointing his finger back. But what they've done is they've actually referenced this picture to the pineal gland, and that the connection between the two parts in the brain represents the connection and the source that our physical form has in the connection in regards to the spirit. So if you put the two pictures together, the pineal gland and then the picture of the creation of Adam drawn by Michelangelo, you see that their fingers are touching I guess in some pictures it's cracked or something like that. There's a lot more that goes into it, but I think that's what they're in reference to, and that when they talk about like the COVID vaccine and stuff like that and the mark of the beast, that this vaccine, and they want to make it annual, as that separation that you see between the fingers of Adam and God, is that it deteriorates that connection, and the more and this is just what I've heard, right? That the more like a lot of people aren't trying to realize the fact that the COVID vaccine is kind of kicking off the end times, because it's like, I think there's stuff in the Bible that talks about like there'll be a time when you'll have to get a certain mark of the beast in order to eat, in order to do all these things, and if you're of God and you'll know better than that, then you'll turn away from it or whatever, and God will come and return and rise all his people into the sky or something like that. The COVID vaccine is kind of like, what they're saying is that it's disconnecting people's connection from the physical form and the spirit, and like how you say in the mind's eyes, not the third eye, right? But the mind's eye. So what we see when we go into that our prayer closet and we're in that and we're in our in our mind and we're connecting with the spirit. That's what it's referencing to, as far as I know.
Well, when you go in your prayer closet, you're not getting into your mind. You
Right,
want to
but
come
it's-
out of the mind.
Right, and so for example, like if we're a spirit and then we're in the flesh, right?
Uh-huh.
There's got to be some kind of like part. What they're saying is like some part of the brain that opens up or connects onto the spirit, right? And so like that's what they're referencing it to. And so I would just suggest that people look probably into that if you're looking for questions, maybe the pineal gland and the.
But
and
the spirit is not a part of the brain.
Oh, okay.
The brain been set up to make the body work. It's a physical thing. And the spirit is a spiritual thing. So it's not even connected to the brain. Of course, God made all things.
Yeah.
And he made the brain to make the body work, right? But that's different than the spirit itself.
Gotcha.
That guides you.
All right.
Where's Michael D'Angelo now?
I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted
You don't
to.
know?
I just want.
You don't know where he is right now?
I don't know nothing about him. All I know is that. All I know is that.
Anybody know Michael?
I don't know about him.
He did.
So I don't.
No, but just to make it clear. So, and I understand in life we go through all kinds of things while we're seeking. You run into all kinds of religion, and you believe all kinds of things, right? So I understand it. But I know nothing about a third eye. I never met a third eye, and I never said a third eye. All right. I was watching a documentary over the weekend, and it was about. Did you hear that they have a new holiday? What's the new holiday? And what's that?
I know briefly, honestly, I think, was it Biden that made it a holiday, I believe? In the whole government, okay. In respects to the emancipation and freeing slaves in Texas, I know very minimal about it, though.
And you black.
Yeah, I am.
You must think you white.
I've gotten that, honestly, like, growing up.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
How's your brother?
He's great. He was actually just here in Los Angeles a couple of days ago.
Oh, good, good. So what Juneteenth is like, you taking a flight to New Orleans, and your flight leave at 12 noon, and you get there at 1 o'clock, and you're waiting thinking that the flight is gonna leave at 1. And so after a while, you go up and ask the workers, what time my flight leave? So there are about 5 people sitting in the airport waiting for their flight that left at 1. I mean, left at 12, but they're thinking it's at 1. And so the workers say, well, your flight left at 1 o'clock. And so, at 12 o'clock. And so all the 5 people hear that, and they turn it into a holiday. Even though the flight left at 12, that's not the holiday. The holiday came as a result of 5 people hearing about it 2 years later. Isn't that amazing? How do you make that a holiday? Oh, 5 black people heard about it in one city in Texas. Everybody else knew already that 2 years ago slavery ended. But 5 people, because they didn't have a cell phone, they didn't have an Obama phone, they heard about it. And so they took that and made it a holiday. You know the world gone crazy. How you make that a holiday? And not everybody, people celebrated it as though it's a real holiday. 5 people heard, now we're liberated. Even though all the other blacks was already liberated 1,000 years ago. Yes, ma'am. Did you have your hand?
No, I was just going to answer what it was. But
What do you think about that?
about it being a holiday?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's ridiculous. Sorry, Chris. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I already knew about it, but most people outside of Texas, or if they didn't have relatives from Texas, really had no clue what Juneteenth was.
Like 5 people in
So-
Texas didn't know. How do we know
Yeah.
they weren't high? Maybe they heard about it,
Yeah,
but just didn't remember it.
yeah.
But it's crazy how the world just falls for anything. And that is a major celebration with these people. Mind blowing. The world gone crazy. So I was watching this documentary, and it was about blacks and their freedom. Like they've been fighting for this since the early '60s, when they had the Black Stone Rangers, they had the Black Panthers, and they were showing these different things that the black people have gone through, fighting for their liberation, right? Since the civil rights movement, they've been fighting, marching, going to jail, and all kind of crap. But I noticed through all those years, they've been blaming white people. And I didn't know that it was all like that. That nobody ever mentioned God, and no one ever mentioned self-responsibility. The radicals have been saying that it's been white people all those years, and now we're at 2021, and they're still blaming the white man. I was like, look like someone should have stopped them. Martin Luther King or somebody should have said, no, it's not the white man. It's about loving what's right and treating people as your neighbor. And now, so this battle has been going on for years, where evil has been trying to take over, and no one stopped it. And that's why it has taken over now. Because it's the same story from back in the 60s up until now. All the civil rights leaders, Al Sharpton and all those guys, been pushing this mess for a long time. And no one stopped evil. So if you don't stop evil within yourself, it'll destroy you. Likewise, if you don't deal with it on the outside of you, inside of others, it would destroy you as well. So I'm wondering what's going to happen now that these people are taking over and changing everything and replacing it with evil. How do you expect the world to get? Anybody ever thought about that? So what? Yeah, it cannot get better. It can only get worse. Because what they have done is not going to work. That's the thing about it. It's not going to work. You can pass all the Juneteenth laws and what? Same thing. You could, and then they took down all the statues of the real folks who made the country great, and they put up an unemployed drug addict with a criminal record. They have a big statue of him in Philadelphia somewhere. New Jersey. And the folks are acting like this is real. Is it just me? No wonder TJ is on pot. I don't blame you, TJ. The world gone crazy. They're calling good evil and evil good. And there's no major outcry from the rest of the people about it. Everybody's afraid. Evil is taking over. Why y'all looking at me like this? That make sense? Yes, sir. Somebody need to do something.
I'll say it's not that people are afraid, is they get shut down. Like, look at the Great White Hope. He tried, and they shut him down. They took him off of everything.
But he's not shut down.
They're trying.
Right, but it has to happen. You can't shut a man down that believes in God, truly be born again of God. It's impossible to shut them down. You can shut down all the little stuff you control. You can take that away, but you can't shut the man down that's been born of God. So it's not over for him. And the reason I want you to know that, because greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. And God has it set up where good will defeat evil, but you must be born again of good. It is so much fun fighting evil, because you do it without fear, and he will guide you. So it's not over for the man or the woman that's born of God. But you must, and born of God is not going down to the front of the church and confessing Jesus as your Lord and Savior. That's not it. You must literally be born of the Spirit of God. That makes sense? Because look at how defeated the Christians are who've been gone down to the front of the church and confessed Jesus Lord and Savior. They got all kinds of things going on. They have no courage. They have all kind of nice little Christian sayings and all kind of stuff, but no courage at all. Where are they now? They're hiding in a corner somewhere. I don't see them out on the battlefield. When I was growing up, the Christians, they fought back. They were an army, and they fought back. And the same thing was going on then, but they didn't win. They lost. But the men are afraid. Yes, ma'am. The women are afraid. And it's mind-blowing. Yes.
How are you born out of the Spirit?
How are you born out of it?
Yeah, like how do you born like on the Spirit?
Into the Spirit of God.
Yes.
From that fallen state. Only God can do it. You know, that's why you seek Him. You pray. Stay with the prayer. It's so important. This silent prayer is especially important for emotional people. People who are into their emotions, they really need to calm down so that God can take over. But no one can make you be born again of God. Only God can do that. And when He does do it, He'll awaken you from the darkness into the light, and the rest is easy. He just takes over and starts guiding and restoring your life. Only He can do it. And it happens just like that.
I grew up knowing about God and Jesus and all that. I just didn't want to follow that.
Right.
But once I couldn't, handle what I was doing anymore, that's when I repented and accepted Jesus and went to the front of the church and whatever.
You did what now?
I went to the front of church and accepted Jesus and all of that, right? I did that. But I still couldn't overcome certain sin until, I started coming here and I was looking at it in a different way. So that's why I ask, I'm like, how are you? I know I'm born again because I see things. Even when I hear you, when I first heard you, I could connect it to Scripture. I was open to that. And I know there's a lot of quote unquote Christians that, attack you all the time for not reciting particular verses and whatnot. But I honestly could connect it back to Scripture with what you were saying. So I don't know. I guess that's just.
I had never heard of. I've heard of the born again experience, but I didn't know what it was until it happened to me. And I had been going to the churches looking for the answers, and they didn't have it. And so I finally just said to God, you know what? Or to myself, I can't fix myself. I can't change it. I'm done. I gave up trying to do it. And when I gave up trying to do it, that's when things start to happen. I asked God, let me see myself, because I realized I didn't know myself. And I don't know if I ever went down to the front of the church and accepted Jesus. That just never made any sense. And I didn't know anyone. I knew people who had gone down to the front, but they were still crazy. Afterward, they were still crazy. So it just didn't make sense, even in a fallen state, to go down to, and some preacher tell you, you believe Jesus died? Yes. You believe He rose on the third day? Yes. You saved. Oh, okay, yeah, right. But it happened when He just awakened me. He allowed me to see. First, He allowed me to see that I had the anger for my mother for turning me away from my father. And I didn't know I had that. And then I knew I had to go and face her. And one thing about waking up like that, you really, most of the time, well, I did. I forgave even before I went to her when I realized I was wrong for hating her. And so I knew I had to go and face her, right? Because He said to go and forgive. And when I went, it was the hardest thing I ever had to do, but I did it. And the rest has been easy. And now I understand that salvation has always been about the heart. He changed the heart from hate to love, the heart of stone to love. And when He does that, He make a home in you, along with the Holy Spirit and Jesus. And then that's when He cleaned up all the stuff you got into. Because I used to think that it was the stuff I had to get rid of first. You have to stop smoking pot. You have to stop being a slut maker. You have to stop this or that. But that's not it. You can't stop. Just think about how many times you tried to stop yourself and you were not able to stop yourself. What's going on with the door there? Oh, and you can't stop yourself. So we have been told, and I have been told, that you need to stop those things. But I didn't have the power to stop those things. It was the heart. And when he came in, he started cleaning up so that you can keep the 10 Commandments. But the world got it backwards. They say you need to stop the drinking, stop the slut making, stop this and stop that. And people are judging themselves over something they have no control over. And it's only dragging you down deeper into it. Of ourselves, we can literally do nothing. And of ourselves, we know nothing. So if that's the case, why judge yourself for being what you're into? You can't help it. And that's not what you're guilty of anyway. You're guilty of the heart of stone, of having no love. Right here. That's what you're guilty of. You're not guilty of those things you're into. So stop judging yourself. Then you can overcome it. Yes.
Hey there, Jesse. Well, I kind of wanted to touch on that because as for someone, for me, that kind of just discovered you just recently.
Is this your first time here?
Second time, actually.
Oh, okay.
I came with a friend the first time.
Okay.
What do you say to someone that unfortunately didn't have the opportunity because both of their parents passed away around the same time? So I didn't have that opportunity to physically tell them I forgave them.
Right.
So what do you say to that, or what do I go about that, even though I felt like I did, but I didn't get a chance to physically tell them? Also on that side, my mother definitely pushed me away from my father as much as she could before that, and I resented her a lot because of that.
Yeah.
So when I found out my father died, I was even more mad at her because I didn't have that opportunity to let him know that I forgave him for all of that.
One of the worst things that can happen to children, it is pure evil, is for mothers to turn their children away from their fathers. You literally turn them away from God. And now you're going to church and everywhere looking for God, not understanding what happened. By getting to know yourself, ask God to let you see yourself, and you will see, he will show you that of yourself you can do nothing, and you're not in control of anything. You can't control anything. And likewise, your parents went through the same thing. They couldn't help themselves. Your mother literally could not help herself when she turned you away from your father because she had an evil heart. She was angry.
And even when she was doing that, I kind of like doubted it though a little bit. Like I knew, I was like, it doesn't seem right. Like, you know what I mean? When she was telling me about my father, that he didn't want me and all that stuff, I kind of doubted it a little bit, but I believed it though, unfortunately.
And that's the problem. If someone had told you not to believe it, when she would tempt you to hate, if you had not believed it, you'll be fine. But once we believe into a lie, like what Adam did when he believed Eve, he believed a lie, and then it was hard to overcome that. But if someone had said, hey, don't believe that, your father loves you, you'll be fine today. Your mother would not have been able to turn you away from him. And, just realize that, get to know yourself, and that will cause you to forgive them since they're dead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, add to that, because they did, from my dad's side of the family, they tried to like tell me that he did want to be in my life, and he was trying to be there, but it was just my mother that was preventing all of that from happening. And then he, became a Christian, and he had another family, and he had 2 other kids with another, but then his wife and him passed away as well.
Yeah.
My brothers are probably going to go through the same thing, I feel, as well.
Oh, good, good. How old are you now?
I'm 30 right now.
And so are you doing the silent prayer and all that?
Every day, yeah.
Good. Are things getting better, a little better for you?
Yes, I have noticed a lot of a difference. I was an emotional person. I did get emotional a lot. But I've noticed that my emotions have calmed down a lot since then.
Right on.
So I'm working on that right now.
That's what the silent prayer does. It calms you down so you can overcome, it causes you to overcome that. And the prayer doesn't, but God does, right? To overcome all that emotional stuff. And eventually you're going to realize that you're not really into that anymore. It becomes less and less, and you don't feel yourself changing. You just realize you don't normally react, right? There's a guy that called my show the other day, and he didn't want to tell me that his mother was dead because he said that we were going to say, she dead. we're going to say, she did. And he didn't want to have to deal with that because he's so close to mama, right? But to me, and then I hear people say respect the dead. How you going to respect the dead? They're dead. We're supposed to respect one another while we're alive, right? And so he said he couldn't say that. But if he were to overcome all that emotion, overcome his mother, he would see that she's dead. She's gone. Even Christ didn't bother to go back. Somebody said, hey, come and help me, my friend dead. Or something like that, right? He like, let the dead bury the dead. I got to go. He dead. Everything that seems so serious is so unimportant. But when you're in a fallen state, everything seems so personal and so serious when it's really nothing. Nothing at all. And I notice that the world now is trying to cater to everybody's emotions, make you feel good, do not use certain words, and blah, 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 right? There was I think it was the governor of New York. He called remember we used to use the word retarded? That was who?
Obama made that. Didn't he do that?
I don't know, I just saw it this morning.
Yeah, Obama made it so you
But-
can't say retarded, you have to say...
Oh, he changed the word. But this governor, I forgot where he was from, he was describing how he tried to help the retarded people or something like that. And he was like, all serious about it. He didn't mean any harm. And he's a liberal, fallen state person. And he was like, well, we built all these buildings for the retarded people. And now the retarded people mad. And so he had to come back and apologize. He's like, I'm sorry, I meant to say mentally ill. Well, what's the difference?
Exactly.
A retarded person is mentally ill, right? But they're trying to make everybody feel good. But if you overcome that fallen state, you wouldn't be moved by words. You would get to the point where you're not moved by words. If you have to throw a family member out, you'll throw them out on their head and think nothing about it because you've done their best. And you know that they got to have hard times to grow up since they won't listen. That's what God, he does that to us and we don't listen. He doesn't just keep us in the house and shelter us, and he let us end up on Skid Row. He'll let you become a drug addict or whatever. He's made the way for you if you don't take it. And that's what a good father would do. This is Father Day. The most important thing you could do in your life is to return to the Father. It's the number one thing. And the rest is easy. I don't care what anyone says. That's why God sent his other son back through, he was made from the man, of the man, right? And not of the woman. Because you got to believe in the Father, in the man, in order to return to the Father. And once you do that, folks, it's amazing. The most important person on earth today is the Father. He's the Father. And boys and girls need to understand that it's not an ego thing. It's just a spiritual thing the way that God created it. The Father is the most important thing on earth. Love your fathers, you'll be fine. It's just simple as that. Forgive your parents, and you'll be fine. And forgive mama, she couldn't help it. Go and forgive mama. Yes, sir. And then the white shirt.
Morning, Jesse.
Hey, buddy, how you?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
I just had a question. What's your opinion on arranged marriages?
Don't do it.
Yeah. Like for example, like back then when men were strong in spirit, like typically they would choose the husband for their daughter. Like, do you think we'll ever go back to that tradition?
I hope not. They don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in those arranged marriages, and I've counseled with them, some of them, the woman is jealous of the other woman. The man got to deal with the hell in all of them. The kids end up crazy. It doesn't work. God will add unto us. This is a new covenant. And God will add unto us what we need. Now, when they had the old covenant, people were out of control. They didn't have the Spirit of God to guide them, right? And so they relied on outer source. We don't have to do that anymore. And it's best that you don't do that. We have a new covenant. And so one wife, one husband. That's the new order. And then you'll be fine. But if you go and marry, I had a football player on the show, right? Did y'all see that on the Father State? He said about he has one wife, he gonna get some more. Didn't he say he want 92 children or something? How many? 94 children. He gonna need some more wives, right? But one wife, one husband, ladies, and that's enough. It's hard enough dealing with the one-on-one thing. So I wouldn't fall for that. Are you gonna do an arranged thing?
That's not arranged marriage. That's polygamy. Yeah, you went over.
No, but, oh, I thought, don't that,
Arranged marriage doesn't mean.
oh, what's that?
With the way I see
Polygamy?
it, it's an arranged marriage is the father chooses the husband, or
Oh.
yeah.
Don't trust that. How the father is gonna know what's in the man's heart, you know? I know that in the good old days, if someone wanted to get married, they'd go and ask the father, can I have your permission? That's respect, that's fine. But I wouldn't let, if I was a woman, I wouldn't let my daddy choose my husband. You know what I'm saying? God will guide it. Seek first the kingdom of God, and he will add that unto you if you need it, if that's what he wants you to have. Other than that, you'll be happy anyway. Oh, I was talking about something else. This guy was a polygamist, right? Oh, okay. Do you believe in arranged marriages?
I think the daughter should respect if the father accepts or not, but other than that, no. So.
Yeah. Even today's father's so weak, though. You can't even trust that anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because how would a beta father tell you, yeah, this is the right woman for you? But I respect the idea of why they do it. But I wouldn't want anyone to pick my wife for me. I wouldn't want God to add that unto me. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Let me take the white shirt. And then I'll come here. Yes, sir.
How you doing, Jesse?
All is well.
So we got off the phone with our father this morning. We said Happy Father's Day to him and everything,
Right
which
on.
was like a big relief because I don't really speak to my father as much. But our father was like extreme biggest beta I've probably like ever met out of all fathers, because like he said that when we said Happy Father's Day, he was like, well, you don't got to say Happy Father's Day to me. You know, that's all your mother, man. Your mother did your job and blah, blah, blah. And just like, he just puts himself down in every situation. Like when we go to church, he'll sit all the way in the back, or when we'll just like, anything, it's just like he's always ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
Like always ashamed, and it's just really hard to like talk the truth to him because he's very sensitive. And as I was talking to our little brother when he was over our place, he was even questioning me like, how are you gonna talk to dad? Like, you know, dad is like very sensitive. Like, how do you don't want to hurt his feelings and stuff. And I was like, you know, that's the thing. Like, I don't care about his feelings no more. I really just want to tell him the truth. And that's what I did with my little brother. When he came over our place, I didn't want to overthink it. And before I spoke to them, I was talking to Sammy and TJ, and they were kind of like helping me like as far as like how to speak to my brother, because I was just like, that's my family. Like, I don't know how to like really talk to him. Like, it's really hard to tell somebody you can't stay here or whatever the case is.
You can't do what?
You can't stay here, because he was over our place with another friend that was coming from Florida. Well, our brother was coming from New York, and he stayed at our place for a week. But I knew down that he really wanted to stay at our place, and he was going to plot on it or whatever. So I first came to him saying, yeah, you can. I was like, I really want you to stay here. Like, deep down in my heart, I want you to stay here. I want you to see, like, you know, basically an example of your big brothers and how we kind of like overcame like the mentality of this and that and all that stuff, right? And I think the next day, that's when I spoke to the TJ and Sammy about my brother's situation, and he told me to like, Samuel? Okay, well, yeah.
What he call you?
I call him Sammy, yeah, I call him. Just for short, I just call everything short. You got TJ, huh?
You don't call Samuel Sam. You ready to die?
Nah. My bad, bro. But yeah, I spoke to the both of them about my situation, and that's when I went home. And later that night, that's when I came up front. I was like, look, you can't stay here and blah blah blah. I know that if you stay here, you're just gonna be more lazy because you're comfortable with your brothers, and you're not gonna really grow from it. Like, if I really care about you, I would tell you to like literally strive outside and go do like your own thing, whatever. And like it's like he kind of understood, but something like part of him didn't want to accept that because he thought I was being mean. I was like, look, from deep down, like I feel like if you can ask anybody, I'm like one of the kindest, like nicest dude. I'm not mean, like it's just like I see something greater in you. Like he's a smart dude. It's just that I see what the world can do to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I was up front with him, and I felt like that was like a reflection of how I would talk to my father.
Yeah. How do you feel about, and you're right, and you don't even have to say to your brother, I'm one of the most nicest person you ever want to meet, right?
Yeah.
You just say, whatever, and throw him out. Let him think what he want to think. That's just manipulation. But just don't hate. Don't be angry.
Yeah, I don't hate him at all.
And if you love him, you would put him out.
Yeah.
Really. And then he may have to go out and suffer on the streets,
But he kind of
live on the streets and
he kind
everything.
of caught me like why, like you know, basically why don't I do the same thing to Joel? And
Oh, you need to throw Joel out?
well, I mean, I don't need to
This is
throw
not
him
the
out.
real Joel. This is a different Joel, right? He black, but he ain't that black. All right.
He's just like we go half on everything, and I've seen him like
He does what?
We go half on like everything as far as like bills and whatnot.
So you're tougher than Joel?
No. I
Is
don't-
Joel weak?
No. I mean, at first when he was with his girl, at that time he was, but.
Well, we all are in that case.
And I think what made me want to like stay with him because when I seen him like mature, I saw like the humble. I saw him just like let
Right
go
on.
of everything. I was like, yeah, let's do this.
Good. So how do you feel about your father's weakness?
I feel like it made a big impact on me, like just growing up. Like cause I always kind of like disliked my mother growing up. I always stood for my father. Every time my mother would get like drunk or whatever going in the household, she'll come out of nowhere and I will see like the demon like in her. She'll provoke my father to be angry.
Yeah.
She'll call him every nasty word you could think of. So just like seeing that and seeing my dad just like say nothing, just lay there or whatever, it's just like, wow, that's how men like put up with mothers. So that kind of impacted me when I left the household and dealt with my own relationship.
Right.
And stuff like that. So
And so how do you feel about him today when you see it?
I don't want to believe that's the person I want to be. Like,
Why not?
Because I see that he's just like ashamed of himself. I don't want to be ashamed of myself. I don't want to be insecure and all that stuff.
But you have to see it for what it is before you can help him. Because now you understand what's wrong. His mother screwed him up. His father didn't protect him. And so he's going through the same thing you went through. There's nothing different about that. And if you could deal with him, but don't resent him. Because the kids become the parents and the parents become the children, right? And so maybe you can help him overcome it, but don't judge him.
Right.
He can't, just like you couldn't help yourself. He can't help himself. And he may not know what you know about how to overcome. So you have to tell him about it.
I think I'm just like a little bit afraid of trying to be like I am the father.
But
When
you
he's
don't
supposed to
try,
be
you
that
just
too.
be you. Because with my parents, I was me, but I was yet honest with them. I wasn't like preaching to them, but when situations came up, I just told the truth about it. And not get angry at them.
Right.
Because they can't help it either. Your father doesn't want to be that way. He just doesn't know how to overcome it. And you should tell him how to overcome it.
About talking about his parents.
Yeah, explain to him. Do not judge him. He can't help it. So when you're dealing with him, you shouldn't feel a certain way about it at all. That's your father or your mother. You just deal with them like you would anyone else.
Yeah.
You show them love.
Yeah, way easier talking to my mother than my father. I can tell her like, I can be upfront about anything, but just with my father, it's just like, dang, it's like he's my dad. I feel like something's like telling me I don't want to like,
That's
shame
Satan.
him or whatever.
My father, before he expired, he was weak. Even when I woke up, he was still weak. But I would just tell him, I'm like, oh, you're so weak. Stop crying. Stop carrying on. What's wrong with you? But we still have fun because I didn't judge him. And he knew that, so we still have fun together.
Okay.
So don't judge him and don't assume how he's going to act over it. But let's say he does start crying or get upset. Just look at him like he's crazy, why he cry, but don't judge him. That's not him. Show him love. And if you love him, you'll be honest with him, but don't judge him.
Okay.
And you might be able to help him overcome. You never know.
Right. Yeah, that's something I like 100% need to do, want to do. So I plan to go to Florida around July, if anything.
And to do what?
Go to Florida around July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh,
to
he's
see
in
them.
Florida?
Yeah, he's in Florida. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when you go to church with him, if he goes back to the back of the room, you can just say, "Where you going, beta?" And believe me, as long as you're not angry, he's going to love you for it. He may pout a little bit, but he will get over it because you're not judging him. And you know he can't help it. He doesn't want to be that way. Somebody did something to him.
Yeah, the music industry, you know, he looked up to the Jackson 5, and his brothers was kind of like repeating the same thing. So he feels like he missed like this like empty accomplishment in his life, and he feels like we look down to him because of that. Like he didn't pursue his dreams or something like that.
Did he tell you that?
That no, well, I mean, he just talks about, you know, him making it into music, and he just like he still to this day talks about like him thinking that he's gonna make it and all this other stuff.
But how do you know he think that you look down on him?
Actually, I don't. I'm just that's
Where
more.
you come up with that?
No, I mean, he said because he said something about when we were talking on the phone that he wanted to go to film school, right? And he was like, "Yeah, guys, you know, I'm going to go to film school, so I want you guys to be proud of me, man. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah." So from that point, I was thinking like, okay, you want us to be proud of you. You think we're not proud of you now, like.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah, we basically said like, you know, we don't care about, you know, that. We just care about you being our father. Like that's what we want.
Right
That's
on.
literally all I care about.
Yeah, but just don't judge him.
Right.
He literally can't help it. He's never had anyone to show him love, meaning don't judge him. All right? And that's going to help you guys too if you deal with him that way.
Yeah, definitely.
All right? Cool, man. I'm glad you put your brother out.
It was that was extremely hard, but yeah, we did it. I did it. Yeah.
Well, now from now on it'll be easy. All
Yeah,
right?
more easier because I can always tell him the truth.
Yeah.
From now on. Yeah.
Just don't judge. Don't get angry.
Yeah.
Joel, you weak.
Uh,
Yeah, that means yes.
I think I'm still like a slut maker, I think. Yeah.
Oh, no wonder you're weak. What's wrong with you, boy?
I don't know. I think.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
Yeah. Well, not as much as I should be doing it.
So are you doing it?
No.
Well, just let him be weak. And
But it's like I see myself in that regard. We're keeping the space between, you know, being friends with the woman first instead of like sleeping with them.
What?
Well, just like I feel like that's the weakness in me, like not.
What's your weakness?
Yeah, I'm just weak
So
to
humble.
women sometimes.
So you say you try to be friends with a girl first and then you slap make her?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
You need to come to the men's meeting. And so, what?
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's my biggest weakness, honestly. It's just.
But why don't you do the silent? Do you want to overcome that?
Yeah, I do.
Why not do the silent prayer so you can have the power to overcome?
I think I get caught up in life.
In life?
Yeah, just life, just doing one thing back to another, just projects here or something, and yeah, I just don't think about it. It's not like the first thing that comes to mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're not ready for a change then?
I guess in that sense, I'm not, but I am. I need to make it a priority pretty much.
But if you were ready, you would do it because you could get up early in the morning and do your prayer and still have your day to do your job or whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is that simple, actually. It is that simple.
But you're just not ready?
I am ready, but I think it's just a reminder of just doing it.
What's a reminder?
Doing the silent prayer, like knowing that is a changeable thing.
You like being a slut maker?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
What?
No.
You don't like it? Who's the oldest? You're the oldest? I'm stunned you're not doing the silent prayer. You look so innocent when you come here.
At one point I was doing it like ritually, like all the time, and then yeah, like
And
he
then
would
what
actually.
happened?
Yeah, I think when you get in the mix with like somebody, it's interesting. Like it's almost as if it just like threw off my focus, but
So what now?
throwing off it being in the mix with like a partner sometimes can.
A partner?
Yeah.
You with a man?
Oh, wait. A woman? With a
Your
woman.
brother like, don't be saying partner.
I mean, I thought, yeah, with a woman. Yeah, it's just something you have to be mindful of.
So when you get involved with a girl, you forget God?
I don't, because I actually preach God, but I think that's what's interesting. I don't do the silent prayer as much as I should.
And because you have a girlfriend?
In some sense. It's not because, but it's like, I guess, yeah, because like
So you
being on the
put her
phone
before God?
that's, yeah, right. I shouldn't, but yeah.
You do? I
In
understand.
some sense, yeah.
Well, just suffer until you're ready.
That's true. Yeah, I just have to be more mindful.
So what now?
Be more mindful of my actions.
Yeah. Well, just suffer. Let him suffer too until he's ready, all right? As long as he help with the rent, pay half his utility. But if he ever stop doing that, throw him out too.
Oh, and, yeah. I'm very responsible in that way.
Good. Well, just suffer, man, until you're ready.
Yeah.
All right? You look so innocent.
Looks are deceiving, I guess.
So what?
looks are deceiving, I guess.
Yeah. And so are you dealing with your father too?
Yeah, I mean, we honestly speak to our father like just as much as like the same. We don't. My father's a very like in-person type of guy. He doesn't really care to speak on the phone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, just suffer. Let him suffer. This is not the real Joel. No. Because the audience, the one that can't see around it, they may think that this is Joel. This is not Joel the Black. This is Joel A. Black. But not.
Wow. Yeah. I am lighter than him, I guess.
What?
I think I am lighter than him.
Yeah, you are. All right, well, just suffer until you're ready, buddy. That's all.
Right on, yeah.
All right. You giving them your money too?
No.
You don't spend your money on them?
All right, I did. Okay, one time.
He like, no.
But it's not like
And
a
then
ritual
you don't
thing.
spend your
like-
money on, I did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's.
How do you feel spending your money on them?
I mean, it kind of just feels like I'm just. Yeah, it's just like you're just taking care of situations with them, and you just.
You're pleasing your God.
I mean.
You'd
put
rather
it that
take
way.
care of that God than the real God, huh?
When you put it that way, yeah, it's.
How old are you now?
25.
Oh, okay. Well, just suffer. Let him suffer. All right?
I am suffering though. Yeah.
I know you are.
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos actually.
So what now?
There's a lot of chaos within what's going on. So.
But not enough to let it go.
Yeah. I could let it go.
All right. Well, you come to the next men meeting too, all right?
Yeah.
So we can deal with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is kind of relevant.
A little louder for me.
This is kind of irrelevant, but can you be rich and a Christian? Does that go together?
Rich and a Christian?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 'cause
Because
I asked him the same thing just to
Ask
see
who?
what's up. Samuel. Yeah, I asked Samuel the same question about can you
What
be
did he
rich?
say?
And he said, yeah. He said, yeah, he agrees. Yeah.
Because your relationship is going to be with God and not with your money.
Mm-hmm.
The money is just a tool to live on earth to you, just like anything else, right?
Right.
But your relationship is with the Father.
Okay.
As long as you don't make it your God. The
'Cause
way
I
he
was
did-
thinking like, all right, well,
the way the little slut maker
when
do
I
it.
I was thinking like, how do people become rich? Like, is it because they chase the money before God?
Yeah.
You know?
Most do, not all, of course, but most, absolutely. They don't know that if they seek the kingdom of God in his right way, that he will add things unto you like that. And it would be so easy, it was hard to believe how you got it. It would just come out of nowhere. The invisible will become visible. And so they have decided, for whatever reason, in that fallen state, to put money, people, places, and things before anything else. And they get rich, but they're miserable.
Right.
And now they want more richness and more. Enough is never enough because they still have that void and they don't realize they have put that before God. So, yeah.
Okay.
But you can definitely be rich. God owns everything. Why would he want you to be that way? He wouldn't want you to have to go to the children of the lie because look what they do. As soon as you don't agree with them, they take their stuff away from you. Well, and we're supposed to be lenders, not borrowers.
Right.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked that is because it does state in the Bible that Satan does own this world. You know, whatever you want, he'll give you the fame, the riches, and
he's
blah, blah,
playing
blah.
God.
So I was thinking the same, like,
But God would take care of you as his son. Even though Satan is the ruler of this world, God still owns everything. He created everything, and he made it for his children. So, yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Just don't put that before him. Good question. Let me take here first. Yeah. And then I got to ask the biblical question, and go ahead.
I just wanted to touch on what the gentleman over here was talking about earlier about forgiving after their past. I went and forgave my mom a couple months ago in person. Like we drove 1,500 miles. We had other stuff to do, but
Right on.
in my mind, I forgave my dad around the same time. And you know, as you mature and you grow spiritually, it was like a couple months later. It just happened like a couple weeks ago. I was sitting there at night, and I started thinking about it, and I realized that I just kind of brushed it off because he's gone. And
Oh, your father.
yeah, so I just thought I forgave him, like, oh, well, he's forgiven, he's dead, you know, blah, blah, blah. And when I started, like, learning about myself, just like you said, I started really thinking about the things that he did that made me. And my dad was a beta, man. I mean, he
Yeah.
was strong in the sense that he didn't let none of our moms take us from him, and he had 4 boys. But other than that, man, our grandma lived with us, and, you know, and I started thinking about all the things that actually made me angry. And it was then when I realized that I did forgive him.
Right on.
Because I couldn't help it. And I also wanted to touch on what Ermias brought up earlier, because I had a question about that too. I don't know if it's the same as what he's talking about, but I noticed, like, the more I learn about myself, like, I feel like I'm losing my passion for life in a sense. Like, not in a bad way, but I just feel kind of empty sometimes. Like, you know, like a rock hit my windshield the other day and cracked it pretty good on my service truck. And I was like, oh, it's a business expense, you know. I give the money to the windshield guys instead of the government, you know, that's
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, like, it's kind of like a dispassion, like you're saying. But I'm not sure, like, does that ever come back, or, you know, because, like, I almost look out into the world now, and I envy them a little bit in the sense that, but I don't.
Do
It's
you
hard to
want it
explain.
back?
Not really.
Well, what do you mean, does it come back?
Like, for instance, like, we came down here for Father's Day and my birthday and stuff, and, you know, I find myself, it's hard to enjoy myself sometimes. Like, I am relaxed, and, like, I went and seen the Battleship Iowa yesterday. That was cool, but it's not the same excitement that I used to have about anything. Like, it just is. Like, I go to work.
Would you like better to be compassionate or dispassionate? Or passion or
I kind
dispassion?
of like feeling empty right now.
Oh, you do?
It's
Yeah.
nice. It's
what
peaceful.
happens is God is renewing your mind. He's putting you, He allow you to be in the world, but not of it. And that way you're not controlled by the world. But you're still going to have an amazing life.
have pushed
But
a lot of
he is
people away.
because that passion stuff is evil. It's not of good.
Right.
It's all ego. And so if you hold on to that, it will destroy you.
Yeah.
So he's taking that away from you, and that's the way you want it to be.
I just find myself, like, I go to work, I come home, you know, we cook dinner together, and, you know, if I get to hang out with her and watch, you know, some cartoons or something together, like, that's just enough for me now.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
to answer the gentleman's question back here, you know, it's weird because a lot of people, like my best friend, you know, he's in a fallen state. He's got a lot of money. You know, he taught me how to make money. But it's interesting, like, I really didn't start making it until I woke up. It was weird because everything else just kind of went aside, and the money really doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't. Like, what you think about, like, I live simply, you know, and I got more stuff I want to get rid of now. But you start thinking about the good you can do with it.
That's right.
That's where the motivation comes from now.
Absolutely.
It's like, I'm not even going to leave it to her. She got a little bit, but I'd rather leave it all to
Close your ears.
Yeah.
You know
Well, I
what?
want her to see what it's like to earn it for herself.
Yeah.
You know, she got a little something, but most of it, I'd like to do something good with it one day. So it's really
Well, just
not
have a
about
wait and see, and God will guide you.
Right.
You know, even about leaving it to her, you don't know if that's going to happen. She's a little girl now.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just don't know how God's going to guide you with that, right? So you don't want to leave it to her to spoil her with it.
Right.
But you don't know if you're going to leave it to her. Just wait and see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I own stuff too, and there's no one I like. And so I'm thinking, what am I going to do with my stuff? I don't want the government to get it, right? So I'm just kind of taking day by day.
You got to give it to the JLP entrepreneurship program.
I don't know. But always have a wait and see attitude about everything, because you don't know that you're not going to leave it to her.
Correct.
You might not, but you just don't know that.
I'm hoping that she does, you know, doesn't need it like that.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
Amazing. So yeah, you want to overcome all that passion stuff. That is evil. It comes from anger. And it's a substitute for what is right, and you don't want that. You want, that's what God means about being in the world, but not of it.
Yeah, I feel a strong disconnect from a lot of people now.
Yeah,
like not,
absolutely.
Not in a bad way, but
That's right.
it's interesting. Like, I don't judge people for it.
Yeah.
I see it though. I see it, and like I'm like, am I judging this person? I'm like, I'm not angry at them for doing it. I mean, if they want to suffer,
That's
they can
right.
suffer.
No,
but,
you're blessed.
you know, it's been an interesting ride, man.
It gets better. You haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
You really haven't.
Yeah, I appreciate what you guys do.
Yeah. Thank you.
The whole crew.
Amazing. Yes.
I just wanted to answer this Jen's question that he had earlier, but this is also in the
Wow.
perspective of a 12-year-old.
How old are you?
So, a 12-year-old, yes.
You're 12? And I just want to answer this gent's question. What? You don't need to worry about leaving her or anything.
I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
This is, I was gonna say this is in the perspective of a child, so I ain't no genius, but I think that you can be a good person if you're rich, because there's like probably a 90% chance that you worked hard and you set your priorities to get that kind of money. And so I think that if you remain a morally good person, that that making you rich doesn't mean that you're a bad guy either.
Right.
As long as you set the father and your family before you, because if it does come to a point where you put money before that, then yeah, I do think that there's a time where you gotta sit down and put those priorities first.
Absolutely. It doesn't make sense that you can't be a son of God and be rich, because God doesn't want the children of Satan controlling you. You know, a lot of people are in fear right now because they're afraid that the children of Satan are going to take things away from them, right? They're going to take you off the internet. They're going to take away the white people are real afraid they're going to take their land, they're going to take their houses away, so they won't stand up. But if they had a relationship with God, that would be the least worry about their stuff, because they know that God would take care of them, and they will love others enough to tell the truth. So absolutely, he doesn't want you pouring down and out and having to borrow from the children of Satan. Absolutely. Amazing. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I just want to, I've been doing this silent prayer. I forgave my mother. I overcame my anger, I believe.
Right on.
Yeah, and so one other thing I was dealing with was like with being a slut maker, you know what I mean, and lust for women. And so I've actually embarked upon overcoming that. You know what I mean? So like it's weird because now, like I met this woman and she's got a real strong spirit and God, like she's really strong in the spirit. You know what I mean? She spends most of her time worshiping God and going to fellowship, and you know, she's just really engaged with that. I don't know.
Go the other way.
All right, cause look, I went because I was like this. I watched a video of yours, and you were saying like how you almost have to be in a fallen state to kind of like meet the woman, because she's a deceiver, and like everything about her is like kind of taking your eyes off God, because you like she got the hair and the body, and you're like, man, you know, you want that when you're in the flesh, right? But then coming closer to God, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily born again yet, because I don't really know exactly what that means.
Right.
But through the silent prayer and through seeking God, I've lost my lust for the woman in the physical form, and so I found myself on a Christian dating site. And I met this woman, and she seems amazing, right?
But you found her on the internet?
On the Christian dating site.
Put her back on there, man.
All right, for sure.
Don't you have kids?
Yeah, my son, I got 2 other kids too, yeah.
You have 3 kids already?
3 kids, but out of wedlock, and so I was with his mom for like 10 years, but I would say I was straight beta, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was with her out of wedlock, and I should have married her, you know what I'm saying? And,
I know.
You know, I didn't. So long story short, I'm not in darkness anymore. But my thing is that since
you're in darkness if you order a woman online.
Nah.
What
no,
now?
like, cause now
especially a Christian one.
Look,
Christian went online.
It's a different world now. Like,
but you don't have to go with it.
Well, I understand what you're saying. So look, this is the thing. What I'm trying to say is, through seeking God, like I'm feeling fulfilled and whole. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back in the day, I used to think that you needed a woman to be whole.
Right.
I don't feel that way anymore. Yeah. But what common sense is telling me that it's a good balance for me to have. Like, I need somebody to help me. I like the hours I work. I need somebody to help me. I got clothes that I need to wash. It takes too much time for me to go do. At the end of the night, I'm alone. You know what I'm saying?
You're alone?
Well, I mean, you know, there's no one. It's just me. It's just me. You know what I mean? My kids. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like I'm kind of bored. You know what I mean? So. All right. So basically, what I was saying was,
your kids need you. They don't want you to bring another woman into. Look, how old is he?
He's 11. He's gonna be 12.
Wait until he's 18 and out of the home.
Yeah.
Is he the youngest?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait until he's 18 and out of the home, and then see. But you don't need the attention of a woman right now. Your kids need you.
So well, my question was that. What does that mean for God to bring a woman unto you? Like, and how much effort do you put towards seeking that relationship? And how much?
Zero effort.
Zero? So how does it like even happen? Like, if you don't, I don't understand. I don't know.
How does God add a woman unto you?
Yeah.
One day, if it's meant to be. One day, but you know, you got 3 kids already.
Yeah,
you don't even need another one forever. But if it's meant to be, you'll look around one day, and the right woman would just be there.
Yeah.
And you would know it. It wouldn't be online. You wouldn't have to order online.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be missing one at night and all along. Your motivation is wrong right now.
No, I mean, look, I'm good. I'm on balance, but it's just like looking at the reality. It's like
what reality?
Like that, just I don't like. It's just me. Like, what am I
But you
doing?
and your kids.
Well, I share custody with their mother, so most of the time they not. I'm only with them on the weekends.
That's
so during
nice.
the whole week, I'm just working, and that's it.
Nice.
Nice. All right, I guess.
But the fact that you're pining for one at night and all lonely, you need to seek God more, man. You need to stay with Him and endure the pain of being lonely.
Yeah, it's
allow yourself to allow that to die, because if you got a woman in your life right now, she would destroy you. You would become like Joel.
That's it. Well, that's what I was gonna say, because
you're not supposed to yearn for anything but God.
Okay.
Anyone but God.
Right. So that's a.
So let yourself feel that way at night, but know that you got to overcome that and endure that pain with joy. Don't be upset about it, but feel the loneliness so you can overcome the loneliness, and God will fulfill you. But you got to go through that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so just don't even like, because I'm supposed to go to like a date on Monday, a date on Wednesday.
Do it. What?
I'm going to the movies after work. I'm not slut making though. That's what I'm saying. It's just like on the
But
level.
you don't want her to make you feel good either. You want to feel this emptiness. You want to feel this by yourself at night. You want to do all that so that ego nature can die in you. That's ego. That's the nature. The woman is, you're overcoming your God. And so you want to because you shouldn't be pining for a woman at night.
I kind of feel like this gentleman, I'm sorry, what was your name? Mike, like how Mike was saying about like the whole like, the windshield thing, like I'm going through the same thing, right? Through the silent prayer and seeking God, like I'm just in a whole different place. And so like even seeking a woman.
But God is allowing you to see now that you're overcoming these things. So instead of finding a good Christian woman on the Bible church, you endure that, man. Don't reach outside for anything. If you lose good friends or family members or anybody, don't replace it with anything.
All right.
And God will replace it. Sure. He'll take that away from you. So listen, calm down.
So I gotta cancel these dates. I better get online now and just.
Yeah, don't do it. Your motivation is wrong, and you're gonna end up in hell.
I can't believe it though. Cause I'm at such peace that
Not
like.
really. You'd have found Jesus online.
No.
No wonder you think you're at peace.
The last thing I want is the sex, and I feel like that's a huge
But you shouldn't
accomplishment.
even look for the comfort of anyone or anything.
Oh, okay.
You're looking for comfort on the outside, and God is your
So
comforter.
can I go back to the fallen state and get with somebody, and then we can get back right together? Is that?
I wouldn't take that risk. But listen, in all seriousness, God is with you. Stay with the silent prayer and allow yourself to go through that because you're overcoming the world. And don't look for anybody or anything to replace it. You got to go through it. Let that die. You have the power of God now, so He's cleaning up all the junk.
All right, so it's a possibility that I'll just be completely and utterly alone till the end. Till he's 18.
But you won't be alone.
Yeah, I know.
God is with you.
Right, I got you.
When He fulfills that emptiness, it's like nothing is missing.
I got you.
All right? But you got to die from that.
For sure. I hear it. I feel you. No, I do. I really do understand. Like, I really do, to the point, like, the percentage of the want for the woman is, like, so small. Like, I'm probably, like, 95% in the light and, like, 5% in the dark. Like, to be honest.
I totally understand it, though, but just know you're growing away from it. And so don't reach outside for anything.
For sure.
It's all inside, right?
Okay.
And the light of God is changing it. So do not go online to find anyone. Be grateful for your kids.
Yeah.
Have a good attitude. He'll take care of you.
All right.
So you got to cancel the dates.
So who?
You have to tell her, I'm not going on a date anymore.
That's gonna be tough. We can't be friends though, right? We can be.
Right. You're gonna end up like Joel.
No. Because it's kind of, I don't want to be rude at this point. Like, we've already had lunch dates and stuff like that, just meeting up. We always speaking, we talking about God and stuff like that. And I'm just saying, so we could be
They
friends,
talking
right?
about God with somebody else in mind.
We could be friends, right? Or just cut it off completely?
Cut it off.
What?
Because I run out of time, but cut it off because your motivation is wrong. You're being tempted and you're not resisting. And Satan tell you, oh, you could just be friends. She all holy, she know the Bible. That's wrong. Your motivation is wrong. If you doubt me, go and try. It's going to destroy it.
Even if we get married, it's not right.
So what now?
It's not even if we went towards marriage, it's not right.
So what?
If we went towards marriage, it's still not right. Like,
the fact that you met her online, you need to let it go. Because you don't know this person online. It's hard enough to meet someone in person.
Yeah, it is.
And really get to know them, right?
Yeah.
Online, you don't want to do it from the online.
For sure.
Now, if you out there living your life and you meet a nice lady, you want to go have lunch, but that's it. Don't be thinking.
And don't pay for it. Don't pay for her lunch.
Right.
Okay. For sure.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
You know what? Look, man. No. Yeah, I don't want to waste your time. Like, no, so I was consistent, and then, so I'm going to tell you something real quick, and maybe somebody else may be dealing with this.
Yeah.
it really, a lot of changes started happening like real quick in my
Well,
life.
you were doing it, right?
Man, everything turned around for me. Like I
Yeah.
stopped playing the victim. I
Yeah.
noticed things that were happening to me, were happening for me, not to me. And man, everything's just different. And so, but then I got, like you saying, that I got so filled with like everything around me getting better that like, man, like sometimes I'm so filled with the Spirit that I'm like, man, maybe tomorrow I'll do it. Cause me and him, we'll do it, you know, once at the nighttime, you know what I'm saying, in the morning. But we didn't do it this morning or last night. But we did get in late last night too. So it was like, so that's it. But yeah, man, so.
I would highly suggest you stay with the prayer.
Stay with it.
Because a lot of people are making that mistake. Life starts to work out,
Mm-hmm.
and say, oh, you don't need it. you're feeling good, you got
I'm feeling
everything.
good. Yeah.
And so that's why he's able to come into you and tempt you with this woman online. You're making up all kind of reasons, excuses for it, because you're falling back into your imagination.
All right.
I don't care how good life is for me, I'm staying with the prayer.
Gotcha.
He says, pray without ceasing. And he's going to make your life even better, but you got to stay with him and not let Satan draw you away from him. So stay with the silent prayer no matter what.
Okay.
But you got to let the woman go.
That feels mean, like, to do.
So what?
It just seems like mean, like, because she's going to be like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, well, I guess, you know.
Just say, my motivation is wrong.
She's over here, like, I done got her listening to your YouTube. She's sending me videos and stuff. I'm like, you know, she's like, with it. Like, whatever.
She like what?
She's with it. I'm not going to ghost her.
She's with what?
Like, she's, yeah, with your show. Like, once she's seen it, she was like,
well, then
wow.
she will understand that you have kids.
Yeah.
And you got to put your kids first.
Yeah, she will understand.
And so then it shouldn't be hard to tell her that.
Nah, it's just, you're right. For sure.
You understand that?
I do.
If she understand where I'm coming from, then she understand what's going on. And your kids are before any other human beings.
Yeah.
They need you.
Right.
They especially need the father.
Right, yeah.
And so don't give your attention to somebody else like that.
Okay.
Because it's all for your ego.
For sure.
It's not even about her, it's about you. It's not about your kids, it's about you.
Right, yeah.
And God wants you to overcome that.
Got you.
Your kids need you. And then when that is done, the grandkids gonna need you.
Dang.
Yeah. And then when that is done, the great-grandchildren will need you.
Oh.
So you have your family, you might as well settle down.
Settle down. For sure.
You look like the rich young ruler. You're like, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, happy Father's Day. Yeah. Right. There it is.
What do you think about that?
What's that?
That you gotta let her go and take care of your children.
I think that because of what the silent prayer has done for me and seeking God in His right way has done for me, like I understand it like so much, like to the point where I had to step outside of my faith and outside of my spirit just to bring myself to do that, seeking that woman. Like I had to literally come out of the spirit to do that because because I was whole within, and just recently, like I found that, you know, like I don't use anger. I mean, I'm cool with my mom. I could deal with her on a logical, level. I'm good, man.
Well, don't judge yourself. Go back to the prayer. Get back on track. You'll be fine.
All right.
But you gotta let her go.
For sure. Yeah.
Your son needs you.
Yeah.
And your other kids need you.
Yeah, you're right.
They need all of your attention. They don't need someone between you and them. They need you.
So she can't be like a helper or nothing to me?
No. Get a maid.
Get a maid, like a nanny or something.
Yeah, get a Mexican maid. Just make sure you lock all your stuff up.
Yeah.
Do you understand though? In all seriousness, you understand that you're being tempted, man.
Yeah.
Either you're gonna put God first or you're not.
Right.
He doesn't play like that, right?
It's just
either
hard,
you're
man.
with him or
Yeah,
you're not.
It's cold, man. It's just cold that because there's still the reality of come on, man, I want to come on, I want somebody too, in the morning,
somebody?
waking up in the morning and someone making breakfast for them or them making breakfast for me or leaving the light on for me. Oh no, man.
Well, give it to this young lady right here. Right here. What do you think about that?
About what exactly?
Should he go for this woman or not?
No,
And why no?
because like you say, you should seek, God first within himself, and
Yeah.
that should be enough already.
That's
if he's saying
right.
that he's finding peace already, then he shouldn't really be seeking a woman. He should already have that peace within himself.
Absolutely.
And he seems a little antsy, like he's seeking a woman, and it's putting these ideas and these thoughts in his head, and he's overthinking it, and he's going online looking for women. Like that's not a man that's found peace inside yet. I don't think.
That's right. You're on the right track, but you're being tempted right now.
So what if I want to share my peace with someone? No.
We'll share it with the world. You share it by being honest with people. Your kids need it.
Yeah.
All right? All right. So go through that pain, that yearning you have for the woman. You got to because that's your God.
All right.
All right? Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's.
So you
Relax.
understand that?
Yeah, unfortunately I do.
Unfortunately, I do. Let me do this. I got to do the biblical question real fast because I'm out of time, really. This week, biblical question. Are human beings, I asked Chris since he got the mic, are human beings, no, we dealt with this on the show, right?
No, we dealt with a bunch of other stuff. We didn't even talk about the biblical question.
Oh, are human beings able to forgive?
No,
Why do you say no?
because well, as you know, I'm an observer and I'm holy, and the Spirit works through you. It's not me. It's God. So no, human beings are not able to forgive.
What do you say to that? Are human beings able to forgive?
No,
Why do you say no?
because above ourselves we can't do nothing. So,
Do you know that for sure, or that's just a saying you heard?
no, I know that for sure because
Well, it sounds like a saying. Oh, because of ourselves, we can do that.
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit tired. My voice is like monotone.
What?
I'm a little bit tired. That's why it sounds like
You going to be tired?
I am tired right
Oh, I
now.
see. Okay.
That's why I sound, I guess, off. But no,
But if
because
human beings cannot forgive, why does God tell us to go and forgive?
He says to seek first Him, and after we seek Him, we know ourselves, and well, God reveals ourselves to us. We can understand why we need to forget people, but it's not until it has to come from God. It doesn't have to come from you. That's how I see it.
I want to ask this young man, are human beings able to forgive?
Well, to be honest, I don't know either, because that's why I was here, because I was asking if I was able. I thought I was able. I forgave my mom and dad.
Right.
I think I did, but I'm not 100% sure if that's what I did or that's what it was. So I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. The young lady in the black way back there want to respond. Are human beings able to forgive?
Human beings are able to forgive if they are born again, they have the Holy Spirit within them, because if not, then they're just in darkness and then they're full of hate.
And how are they able to forgive?
Once you are born again, and you're open to God, because, you can try to help yourself, but you can't really help yourself, just as she was saying. But if you give it to God, let go and let God, then you, with the help of God, are able to forgive. But if not, then if you're just of yourself, then you're in your mind, and that's where Satan will play with you. And just by yourself, probably not. You may think momentarily that, oh, well, I can get over it, but then something will come up, and then you'll still be peeved or whatever, and that's just a spot of hate still within you. So, but to truly forgive, and I've forgiven my parents, and it's all good. My dad's he did, and he was a beta slut maker,
Nice.
butthole, you know, and my mom was just being evil.
Yeah.
And I
And
just
you
got
were
love
able
for
to
them.
forgive them.
Correct. I
Forrest,
just love them.
Let me ask Forrest, are human beings able to forgive?
Surprise me.
Hold the mic there for us.
Oh. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Jay, did you have a question?
Yeah, I had a few.
Okay. Oh, let me do this. Are they responding to the biblical question?
No, they're not.
I used to think that human beings were able to forgive, and because growing up, you hear that in the church, forgive, right? But we are not able to forgive. No way. As this young lady, somebody said, of ourselves we can do nothing, right? And that is so true. Of yourself you can do nothing, and of yourself you know nothing. And so if you notice, when you go and forgive, you are apologizing to them for resenting them. I'm raw for resenting you because you understand that they couldn't help it. And then in that situation, God is forgiving you. You're not like, if you went to your parents and say, well, I forgive you, thinking that you can forgive, it wouldn't work. Because we can't do anything. Only God, that comes from God. Human beings are not capable of forgiving because the hearts are wicked and the hearts are of evil. But when we see that we are raw for hating our fellow man or woman or whatever, right? And we know that we are playing God, because that's what Satan does, he plays God. We're playing God, we're raw for that. That's what we're apologizing for. That's what the great sin is, playing God. So you're going there to say, I'm wrong for judging you. We can't judge. Only people who think they're God judges. They judge, they look down on one another, they gossip about one another, they have no love because they're playing God. So once you go realize you've been playing God, you go and apologize for judging them, you're fine. Then God will become your God. Satan will no longer be your God. Then you can live. We cannot forgive. We can't do anything. It's all spiritual. That's why when you think you're all that, you're making a fool of yourself. Really, we're nothing. We are grateful. I'm grateful that I'm understanding that he loved me enough to allow me to see that. Otherwise, you'd be suffering. We cannot forgive. Yes, James.
We have lots of super chats, and we'll read the rest of them tomorrow. But
All right, thank you.
Seaboat gave a super chat on YouTube and said, "Can God forgive intentional abominations and intentional sinning?"
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, CJ. CJ, right?
Right. No, Seaboat.
Seaboat, I have no idea what that means.
I have another question from...
Anybody know what that means? It sounds like a Christian term. But nobody's sinning on purpose. No. Who said that? No. Because they're in a fallen state and they're being influenced and don't realize it. We're not in control either way. When you're in a fallen state, you're not making those decisions. You don't wake up one morning, oh, let me go sin. My life is so good today. I just feel like I want to sin. You're being influenced. That's why when you overcome the fallen state, you're being influenced by God. We're not in control either way. We've never been in control. So if that's what you mean, no. No such thing as intentional sinning. And once you wake up, you would never want to go back to that. Really. That's a horrible way to live. Yes.
Another person on YouTube just chatting asked, T.R. Tursking S. King said, "Should a man marry a divorcee?"
No.
Oh,
that was easy. Listen, all the divorcees are worried now.
I just heard someone say, what if she doesn't have kids? I would say even if she doesn't have kids.
No, especially if you. Because when you marry a divorced woman, you marry somebody else's wife, And you marry, it's like buying a used car. It's gonna be in the shop all the time. And it doesn't make sense anyway. Why, if you're a brand new person, meaning fresh, you've never been married, whether man or woman, you've never been married, you have no children, why would you want to take on an old car? Why not start a brand new life out, having your own kids, having your own problems to deal with, instead of bringing in somebody else's issue? It doesn't even make sense, right? I wouldn't marry no divorced woman. What do you mean? Okay, but no, I wouldn't do it. Yes.
One last super chat from Yaka Zaka asking, why does it say forgive so you can be forgiven?
So that God can forgive you, draw you in. You're not playing God anymore. So the only way you're going to enter into the kingdom of heaven, you got to lay down that Godship thing you think you are. All angry people think that they're God. That's why they judge. That's why they make decisions. That's why they, in their head, they think that they're God. So that's why. But if you don't want to enter into the kingdom, you don't have to forgive. You just suffer and die. It's really up to you. I got a, is it real short?
Yeah, it's a question about.
Okay, make it short. Don't go around the moon and back.
Well, I don't know how. What
Because of time, I got to.
Yeah, I just about the feeling empty or feeling, like I said in the women's group, I was feeling that I was disappearing, right? And I see myself judging the process of that as he's doing, I think, because I see it like, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if this is right that I'm doing, but I see myself like being, oh, I miss my family. Or, oh, I feel lonely, I feel empty, I don't have anybody to entertain or any gossips to fulfill or anything like that. It's true. But then I'm feeling like I'm wrong because of that. I'm feeling like I'm disappearing and that's wrong because God wants me to.
Well, let me tell you this. That's not you telling yourself all those things. Oh, I need a family. I need to go gossip. That's Satan telling you that. He's tempting you. Yeah. You would never tell yourself, I need to go gossip. Or I need a family.
Entertain myself.
That's why all thoughts are lies, right? So, or Satan just say, oh, you need a new job or a better job or more money.
Or a family.
It's all lies. Just let it pass.
Yeah,
all
and I'm letting it
thoughts are
pass.
lies all the time.
And then I'm letting it pass.
Right.
But I'm just thinking, why am I even?
As somebody brought it up, you want to be empty.
Yeah.
And God will fulfill
And that's
you.
how I'm feeling now.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm thinking why I'm thinking those things. Why I'm thinking
But
that's
you're
wrong.
not thinking those things. Satan is tempting you.
Yeah.
All thoughts are lies all the time.
Okay.
With your situation, Satan tell you need a woman at night and all that. For breakfast, all lies. You're not telling yourself that. Seek the kingdom and you'll be fine. All right? You got to die. The ego must die. Really. Is it real short and fast?
It's more of a statement.
No, behind you. Yeah. You forgot it?
I think I have it.
Okay, I saw your hand. You forgot?
Yeah, I think I remember.
Okay. Somebody making a knocking noise. What's wrong with you, man?
Coffee's kicking in.
So what?
The coffee's kicking in.
Now he was patting his foot on the ground. Now he's doing this with a hand. Amazing. Yes.
The Bible does mention about like there is one unforgivable sin, and that's the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So the people who are doing that, do they know that they're?
They don't know it.
So why is that an unforgivable sin rather than all the other?
If you do it now that you know, it's a little different story. But in that fallen state, you don't know. Mm-hmm. And God's not holding that against you. We're not guilty of the fallen state. We're guilty of the heart. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you got to change the heart. He would change the heart. Then I could never, I can't imagine turning away from my teacher from within. I don't trust any outer teacher, meaning that I hear things, but I let it go in one ear and out the other, because he's teaching me. And I would not substitute a human being for that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this might be like a silly question, but what is spirit?
What?
What is spirit? Like for those who could be atheists, they'd be like, oh, you believe in
Invisible beings.
invisible beings.
Yeah.
So you will have to have, that requires faith to believe in the spirit.
To believe in God?
Or to believe in these spiritual beings.
Believing in
necessarily.
God is faith. But once you doubt the thoughts, you can't help but have faith in God. You let every thought go because when you believe the thought, you believe in lies. And so as long as you believe lies, you can't believe the truth. But when you let every thought go by, you can't help but have faith in God. That's the only thing that's left. Because we live by belief. So when you doubt every thought, you can't help but believe God.
True.
All right? What's the brand new biblical question?
What does the intellect look like and what is its purpose?
What does the intellect look like and what is its purpose? Isn't that an amazing question? Right here, want to add, tell me real fast.
What is the intellect?
Yeah. White people should know this really well.
Oh yeah, what is an intellect?
What is the intellect and what does it look like?
The intellect is Satan, and it looks like pure hell.
Okay.
I'm right on this one. I'm right. You might say it differently, but I'm right.
Mark, what does the intellect, I'll put my 2 cents in next Sunday. What does the intellect look like? I mean, what does the intellect look like and what is its purpose, right?
It looks like a show off, and its purpose is to destroy.
You have an intellect?
Hope not.
Do you?
I don't know. Sometimes I think I've gone dumb, you know?
You what?
Think I've gone dumb. I realize I'm an idiot, and I live from there. But I don't want to close the door on the possibility of me being, egotistical or intellectual. Maybe that's true.
All right. No, I'm just looking. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Last word. What does the intellect look like and what is its purpose?
I believe the intellect looks like ego, and its purpose is to deceive you, to take you away from the Father.
Do you have an intellect?
Used to.
Do you have one now?
No.
And how do you know you don't have one?
I quit assuming that I know things. I think it comes with a wait and see attitude. I was out working. I seen a guy shooting up actually, and like right when I went to judge him, I was like, he's just in a fallen state like everybody else. Like I was there at one time, not with needles, but you know what I mean. Like I didn't want to judge him. What makes his sin any better or worse than mine?
All right.
So.
What, do you know the answer to that?
Nope.
You don't know?
We'll wait and see next week.
Yeah. Amazing. So do you have an intellect?
Me?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
And so you're evil?
Yes.
No wonder your wife left. I know, huh? But that's the question for next week, all right? So listen, my fatherly advice, go and forgive. Don't say, oh, I did it in my heart and all that crap. Your parents are living, go and forgive, especially your mother, not just especially, but both, especially the father too, so you can return to your father. This is Father Day, it's a perfect day to do it. Go and forgive, stay with the silent prayer video. All people should do it, but especially emotional, passionate people. You need to calm down. That has nothing to do with God at all, right? So go forgive, do the silent prayer, doubt every thought. And happy Father's Day to everybody. We're going to read the Super Chats and D-Lives on Monday, tomorrow. Have a really good Father's Day weekend this week. Right. Announcements. The tickets for the men's conference selling out and time is near. I encourage you to go and get it.